Eric pushed open the door to the small two-bedroom apartment.
You up, Ma?
"I've been up," her raspy voice responded from the couch. "These pills don't let me sleep worth a damn." Eric walked over to where his mother lay curled up on the sagging couch, a faded quilt pulled to her chin. Her once vibrant face now looked tired.
You take your medicine?
"Yep. Washed it down with that dry salmon you cooked up last night."
Better than what they serve at the hospital.
She let out a weak laugh. "You right about that." Her hand reached for her cane. The tremor in her fingers was part MS, part fatigue, part exhaustion. Some days she could move around just fine. Other days her own body felt like a prison. After a while she was able to sit up. She spoke, her voice soft but steady. "You look tired, son."
I'm okay, Ma. I just need you to relax.
"You don't have to keep running yourself ragged for me, Eric. I hate feeling like I'm holding you back."
You're not holding me back, Ma. Did you forget? You gave up everything when you had me. School, dreams, your whole life. And you never complained. All while he ran off, got rich, and never came to look for us.
She studied him, a sad smile on her lips. "You got his face, though." He shrugged.
Maybe. But I'm not him. Never will be.
A cough racked her body, and she tried to hide it behind a tissue, but Eric saw the blood. He didn't say a word, just handed her a bottle of water and rubbed her back.
Ma, one day I'ma make it. Not just for me, for you. Everything you gave up, everything you lost, I'm gonna get it back.
Tears filled her eyes, but she smiled, pride shining through. "Having you for a son is more than enough, baby." Eric nodded, but inside, the weight in his chest only grew heavier. Getting by wasn't enough for him. He was on a mission. The only sounds in the apartment were the sounds of Eric's old laptop and the occasional click of his mouse. He sat hunched at the kitchen table, eyes glued to the screen as he scrolled. From the living room, his mother shifted under her blanket, looking over at him. "Boy, you been glued to that computer all day."
Just working, Ma. Got a shot at a big job.
"What kind of job?"
A family out in Oakwood wants a full kitchen and basement remodel.
That got her attention. She sat up a little straighter. "All that for one client?"
Yeah, it's contract work, but if I land it, we'll be set for a while. It's a good gig, Ma. The kind where, if done right, word will get around. Could mean more work in those neighborhoods.
"I believe it. You keep at it, baby. You got the experience," she said softly. "Just need somebody to give you that one shot."
That's all I'm waiting on.
She looked at him, eyes full of pride and concern. "Don't run yourself into the ground trying to fix everything all at once, baby."
I'm not. But if this goes how I think it will, we might not be in this apartment too much longer.
Eric pulled his truck into the quiet cul-de-sac and parked across from the house. The neighborhood was nice. Yards trimmed, driveways clean, everything looking just right. It was the kind of place where you could tell folks had money, and lots of it. He grabbed his tablet and walked up to the front door. Before he could even knock, the door swung open. "You must be Eric," a woman said, smiling at him.
That's me.
"I'm Vanessa. Come on in. Marcus is waiting for you in the kitchen." Eric stepped inside, taking a quick look around without making it obvious. The floors were hardwood, the finishes modern. The house already looked good, but Eric could see ways to make it even better. Eric stepped in the kitchen, taking in the cramped space and worn cabinets. He set his notepad down and extended a hand.
"Morning. I'm Eric. Here about the renovation. I'm Marcus. Glad you could make it."
Without missing a beat, Marcus gestured around the kitchen.
"This wall,
He tapped the divider to the dining room.
I want it gone. Open the whole space up. Island in the middle, outlets, deep sink, new cabinets all the way up. Stainless appliances, subway tile, the works. And over there,"
He pointed to the back wall.
"rip out that window. Put in sliding glass doors. I want light. I want space. I want people to walk in and know this is the best kitchen on the block."
He flashed a confident grin.
I don't do average.
He motioned for Eric to follow him down the narrow stairs to the basement.
Now here is where I want a real transformation. Dig out another foot for higher ceilings, pour a new slab, waterproof everything. Over in that corner, laundry area, built-ins, and a small bathroom. The rest, open it up for a TV and couch. Make it feel like a real living space. Good lighting, dry walls, no more of that basement smell.
Marcus looked back at Eric.
Think you can handle that?
Eric nodded, taking it all in.
I'll get you some plans by the end of the week. We'll make it happen.
Marcus clapped him on the shoulder, his confidence unmistakable.
That's what I like to hear.
Eric worked his way through the kitchen, pencil behind his ear, tape measure snapping out and back as he jotted down dimensions. He glanced at the marble countertops, the gleaming appliances, the spotless tile. Everything looked expensive, but somehow cold. He was measuring the space between the fridge and the wall when a quiet voice caught him off guard. "Marcus said you'd be coming by, but I didn't expect you this early." Eric turned, lowering his tape measure. The woman in the doorway wore an oversized t-shirt and leggings, her hair up in a messy bun. She looked tired.
Sorry if I woke anybody up. Just trying to beat the traffic.
Eric said, offering a polite smile. "No, you're fine. I'm Vanessa, Marcus's wife." He nodded, tucking his notepad away.
Nice to meet you. He mentioned you might have some opinions about the kitchen.
I have opinions about everything, but Marcus likes to pretend he's the expert. She glanced around, her gaze lingering on the wall dividing the kitchen and dining room. He wants it all open, right?
That's the plan. Big island, new cabinets, all the bells and whistles. You got anything you want to see in here?
Vanessa hesitated, then shrugged. Honestly, just a place that's easy to keep clean. Eric chuckled. She poured herself a cup of coffee, then gestured to the pot. "You want some?"
Sure, thanks.
He accepted the mug, nodding his appreciation. She leaned against the counter, sipping her coffee. "You always work alone?"
Yeah, I like to keep things tight. Less confusion that way.
Vanessa smiled. "Smart man. You from around here?" Eric shrugged.
Nah, moved around a lot.
She nodded, looking out the window. "This place, it's got its moments. Sometimes I miss the city noise when Marcus is gone all day." Eric glanced at her, reading the fatigue in her posture.
He keeps busy, huh?
You could say that. He's got his hands in a dozen things. Real estate, investments, whatever else he's chasing this month. Eric took a sip of coffee, letting the silence settle before speaking again.
Well, if you think anything you won't change, let me know. I'm here to make this place work for you, too.
She looked at him, surprised. "Thanks." Eric held her gaze for a moment, then smiled. "Well, I should let you get to work. I'll be upstairs if you need anything. And Eric."
Yeah.
"Don't let Marcus scare you off. He can get iffy at times." Eric chuckled, watching her disappear down the hall.
I'll keep that in mind.
He turned back to his notes. He finished his measurements, double-checked the wall Marcus wanted gone, and then headed for the basement, whistling low under his breath.
Focus, Eric. Focus.
Eric's apartment was a world away from Marcus's house. Second floor of a weathered walk-up, the hallways always smelled like fried food and old paint. He eased the door open quietly, careful not to let it creak. His mother was likely napping on the couch, as she did most days. He set his tool bag down by the door and glanced over. Sure enough, his mom was curled up on the couch, TV remote resting on her chest. Eric tiptoed to the kitchenette and flicked on the light. The bulb buzzed overhead, illuminating the cluttered table, a stack of overdue bills, a chipped mug, and his battered laptop. He sat down, flipping open his notebook and reviewing the day's notes. Measurements, sketches, a list of supplies for Marcus's kitchen. His mind replayed the morning, Marcus's clipped tone, and Vanessa's tired smile.
A soft snore drifted from the couch. Eric smiled, glancing over at his mother. She shifted, mumbling in her sleep. "You home, baby?"
Yeah, Ma, just got in.
He called softly. "You eat yet?"
Not yet. I'll fix something in a bit.
Eric replied, his voice gentle. He opened his laptop, the screen flickering to life. He started searching suppliers, comparing prices, but his mind wandered. He clicked open a browser tab and typed in Marcus's name. Up came the polished world. Real estate deals, charity galas, magazine spreads. Eric scrolled through, jaw clenched. His phone buzzed suddenly, a text from an unknown number.
This is Marcus. Send your estimate by noon tomorrow. I want to go ahead and get you your payment.
Eric smirked, tossing the phone onto the table. From the couch, his mother stirred again. You working for someone nice this time? Eric hesitated, then forced a lightness into his voice.
Yeah, Ma, real nice. Big house, fancy neighborhood. I'll tell you about it later. Go back to sleep.
Eric leaned back, listening to her soft breathing in the city outside. For a moment, he let himself relax, but soon enough, his eyes drifted back to the laptop, to Marcus's smiling face on the screen, and his jaw tightened all over again. Eric arrived at Marcus's place just after 9, estimate folder tucked under his arm. He rang the bell, shifting his weight as footsteps can be heard inside. Marcus answered, Bluetooth earpiece in, voice clipped.
Yeah, hold on,
he said into the mic.
You got the numbers?
Eric nodded, holding up the folder.
All here. Want to go over it?
Marcus waved me in, barely making eye contact.
Just leave it on the counter. I'll look when I'm done with this call. Cool,
Eric said, setting the folder down on the marble. He glanced around. Marcus's laptop was open, spreadsheets and emails filling the screen. Marcus paced away, already back in business mode. Eric took a slow breath and started reviewing the kitchen, double-checking measurements, jotting a few extra notes. He heard soft footsteps and turned to see Vanessa in the doorway. Back already? She asked, her tone lighter than yesterday.
Had to drop off the estimate. Figured I'd double-check a few things while I was here.
You're thorough. I like that. He shrugged.
Only way to do it right.
He nodded toward Marcus, still pacing in the next room.
Is he always this busy?
Vanessa rolled her eyes, a little smile tugging at her lips. Always. Sometimes I think he's married to that phone and not me. She laughed, then took a sip of tea. You want anything? Coffee? Water?
I'm good, thanks,
Eric said.
You think he'll go for my numbers?
Vanessa glanced at the estimate on the counter. If you kept it under budget, he'll be happy. If not, he'll pretend to be mad, then do it anyway. He likes things his way. Eric nodded, studying her for a moment.
You ever get a say in any of this?
She shrugged, looking away. Sometimes, not as much as I'd like. A silence settled between them. Eric broke it first.
If you think of anything you want changed, let me know. I can work it in.
I'll think about it. Thanks, Eric. Marcus's voice boomed from the next room, ending his call. He strode back into the kitchen, grabbing the folder and flipping through the pages.
Looks good. Start Monday. I want progress every day. No excuses.
Eric nodded.
No problem. You'll get it.
Marcus turned back to his phone, already dialing another number. Vanessa gave Eric a small, knowing smile, then slipped out of the kitchen. Eric gathered his things, taking one last look around. The job was his. Eric showed up early Monday. He let himself in with the code Marcus had texted him. No greeting, just a string of numbers and a message, be on time. Vanessa was up already making breakfast in the kitchen. She looked up as Eric entered, a genuine smile lighting her face. Morning, she said, sliding a plate of toast on the table. You want some coffee before you start?
Wouldn't say no,
he replied, setting his bag down. He sipped the coffee, glancing around at the kitchen he was about to tear apart. You sure you're ready for this mess? Vanessa laughed.
I've lived through worse.
At least you seem like you know what you're doing. He grinned, rolling up his sleeves.
I do, most days.
She leaned against the counter, watching him unpack tools and lay out drop cloths. Marcus said you'll be here most days, right?
I'll be here every day until it's done. He wants progress. He'll get it.
Vanessa nodded, her eyes lingering on Eric. It's nice having someone around. This place gets too quiet. Eric looked at her, reading something in her eyes. A loneliness, maybe, or just curiosity. He set his coffee down and got to work, prying off cabinet doors, unscrewing hinges, stacking everything neatly by the door. He worked quickly but carefully, making as little noise as possible. A couple hours in, Marcus breezed through, barely acknowledging Eric. He barked a few instructions at Vanessa about a delivery, then disappeared out the door. Eric watched him go, then caught Vanessa's eye. She shrugged, a silent apology for her husband's rudeness. By noon, the kitchen was stripped down to bare walls. Eric wiped sweat from his face and stepped outside for a breath of fresh air. The streets were alive, but not in a way he was used to. There were no drug dealers on the corners, no drug addicts walking up and down the streets. Instead, there were kids skateboarding on the sidewalk, couples jogging down the street. He observed it all with admiration in his eyes, then headed back inside. Vanessa was waiting with a sandwich. "You need a break," she said, pressing the plate into his hands. He took it, surprised.
Thanks. You don't have to.
"Shh," she said, cutting him off gently. "Take a break and eat." They sat at the dining room table, eating in silence, sunlight slanting through the dusty window. "Let me know if you need anything." He nodded, watching her leave the room. He turned back and headed to the empty kitchen, feeling the weight of the job ahead and the possibilities it offered. The sun was setting, throwing gold light across the stripped-down kitchen. Eric was packing up his tools when he heard Vanessa's footsteps behind him. "You're still here?" she asked, leaning against the doorframe. "It's almost 8. Eric glanced at the clock, surprised by how late it had gotten.
Didn't notice. Wanted to finish patching that wall before I called it a night.
She smiled, a little shyly. "You work hard." Vanessa stepped into the kitchen, arms folded against the evening chill. "You want something to eat? I have some extra pasta. It's just me tonight. Marcus texted. He's working late. Again." Her voice was flat, but her eyes searched Eric's face. He hesitated, then nodded.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
They ate in silence. Vanessa poured 2 glasses of wine. After a while, she looked up and spoke. "You ever feel like you're just stuck? Like you're living someone else's life?" Eric looked at her, surprised by the question.
Yeah, more than I'd like to admit.
She laughed softly, swirling her wine. "I used to have dreams. Travel, art, maybe a little bakery somewhere. Now I just exist in Marcus's world." He watched her, something softening in his expression.
It's not too late, for dreams.
"Maybe. Sometimes I wonder what it'd be like to just start over."
You'd make it. You're stronger than you think.
Vanessa looked down, then reached across the table, her hand covering his. The touch was tentative. "Thank you, Eric, for listening." He squeezed her hand.
Anytime.
Vanessa didn't pull away. She just stared at him. From the hallway, the old clock chimed, breaking the moment. Vanessa withdrew her hand slowly. "I should go get some sleep." He nodded, standing. "Good night, Eric." He watched her go, her silhouette framed by the hallway light. He stood there watching until she was no longer in his sight. Eric was finishing up for the day when Marcus finally showed up, his phone glued to his ear, suit jacket slung over his shoulder. He ended his call with a sigh and tossed his keys on the counter.
Eric?
Marcus said, rubbing his temples.
You got a minute? Sure. What's up? You do work on investment properties too, right? I got a couple units uptown that need some attention. My usual guy flaked and I can't afford delays right now.
Eric kept his face neutral, but his mind was racing.
Yeah, I've done plenty of that. What all you need? Mostly cosmetic, paint, patching, maybe some new fixtures. But I need someone I can trust, someone who gets things done without procrastinating. You interested?
Eric nodded, keeping his tone casual.
I can take a look. When do you need it? Yesterday,
Marcus said with a smile.
I'll text you the addresses. If you can get started next week and rotate weeks between here and the property uptown, I'll make it worth your while.
Vanessa appeared in the doorway, drying her hands on a towel. "You're putting Eric on your buildings now?" she asked, eyebrow raised. Marcus shrugged.
Yeah, he's the man for the job. I'll handle it. Good. I'll have my partner send you the details. Don't let me down.
As Marcus left the kitchen, Vanessa stepped closer, her voice low. You sure that's not too much work for you? Eric gave her a reassuring smile.
I can handle it. Besides, it's just work.
But as Eric left the house that night, his mind raced with possibilities. He knew Marcus's reputation. He'd done the research. Straight cutthroat, always looking for an edge. Now he had a foot in the door to Marcus's empire. With access to those properties, Eric could do more than just renovations. He could plant the seeds for something much bigger. Deshaun always made an entrance. Even in a room full of suits, he stood out, tall, broad-shouldered, gold chain glinting against his crisp black shirt. Marcus looked up from his desk, barely hiding his relief.
Deshaun, you got a minute? You sound stressed, bro. What's up?
Marcus slid a stack of papers across the desk.
We got a problem at the 5th Street property. My contractor bailed. I'm putting a new guy on it, Eric. He's been handling my house renovation, and he should be here any minute. Now, I want you to show him the property, walk him through, tell him what needs to be done.
Deshaun frowned.
You know I don't like outsiders, Marcus, especially not around our properties. We got too much at stake. Eric's not an outsider. He's my contractor, that's it. He's got no reason to go poking around.
Deshaun's eyes narrowed.
That's what you said about the last guy, and look how that turned out. I don't want to be cleaning up another mess. Look, we need those units finished and rented out now. Not next week, not next month, now.
Deshaun leaned back, arms crossed.
So what's the rush? We always got a few cribs empty. This ain't like before. The money coming in from the street is too much to just sit on. We need all this money looking clean. If those apartments stay empty, Fed gonna start asking where all this cash coming from. The feds, the banks, anybody poking around is a problem. That's how we keep the heat off. We funnel the drug money through the properties. On paper, it's all legit. Rental income, deposits, renovations. Nobody can trace it back to anything dirty if the books look right.
Deshaun nodded slowly, understanding the stakes.
And this new contractor, Eric, you trust him?
Marcus hesitated, then nodded.
He's just here to fix up the place. He don't know shit about shit else. As soon as he's done, we fill those units, the money keeps flowing, and we stay off everybody's radar.
Eric stood just out of sight near the office door, the faint voices filtering through the thin walls. He hadn't planned to linger, but the conversation inside had drawn him in. Marcus and Deshaun discussing the urgency of finishing and renting out the properties. Eric's jaw tightened as he caught the mention of money laundering, drug trafficking, and the pressure to keep the books clean before the feds or the wrong people started asking questions. Eric barely had time to step back when Marcus exited the office, nearly colliding with him in the narrow hallway.
Eric,
Marcus said, eyes sharp as he sized him up.
How long you been here? Just walked up.
Eric replied smoothly, masking the tension from the conversation he'd overheard inside. Marcus didn't look fully convinced, but nodded.
All right. Deshaun, this is Eric.
He gestured toward the man still seated in the office. Deshaun stood, his gaze appraising Eric with a mixture of curiosity and caution. Marcus continued.
I want you to show him the 5th Street property. A few of those units we need finished and rented out ASAP. Eric's going to handle the renovations.
Eric and Deshaun arrived at the 5th Street property, where Eric followed Deshaun down the cracked sidewalk. The building looked tired, paint peeling, windows dusty, and the front door hanging slightly ajar. It was clear the units inside needed serious work. Deshaun pushed the door open with a grunt.
This is one of the places we need fixed up and rented out fast,
he said, stepping inside. The air was stale, smelling damp and neglected. Eric's eyes scanned the dim hallway, scuffed walls, loose baseboards, and flickering overhead lights.
Looks like we got our work cut out for us,
he said, pulling out his notebook. They moved through the first unit, the living room walls marked with cracks and water stains. The floorboards creaked underfoot, and the windows were grimy, some with cracked panes. Eric made mental notes. In the kitchen, cabinets hung crooked, the sink faucet leaked, and the stove was covered in grime. The bathroom was worse.
Definitely needs a full overhaul.
Eric said quietly. Deshaun watched him closely.
Remember, this ain't just about fixing a place. We need these units rented ASAP. The faster we get them on the market, the better.
Eric nodded, already picturing the work ahead.
I'll get it started first thing tomorrow. We'll have this place ready in no time.
For Eric, those rundown units weren't just a job. Those rundown units were his entry point into a much bigger play. Eric woke early. He found his mom still wrapped in her quilt.
Morning, Ma.
Morning, baby. You're up early. Eric nodded.
Got some new work coming up. Way bigger job than usual.
His mom's eyes brightened a little. More money?
Yeah.
Eric said with a small smile.
Means we can fix up this place, maybe get ahead for once.
She reached out, squeezing his hand. Thank God. After a quick breakfast, Eric grabbed his bag and headed out. The city was just waking up around him. At the 5th Street property, Eric wasted no time. He moved swiftly through the first unit, measuring, marking, and making mental notes. His hands worked with practiced efficiency, stripping old cabinets, prepping surfaces, and organizing materials. Hours passed like minutes as Eric pushed through the work, driven by the promise of the job's payoff and the weight of what was riding on it. The worn apartment began to take shape under his skilled hands. By midday, the first unit was already looking like a place someone could call home. Eric wiped away sweat as he stepped back to admire the progress. Footsteps echoed down the hallway. Eric turned to see Marcus and Deshaun entering the room, their expressions shifting from casual to impressed as they took in the transformed room.
See, I told you, this the man for the job.
Deshaun nodded slowly, eyes scanning the quality of the work.
This nigga moving fast and doing it right. This shit looking good.
Eric gave a modest shrug.
Just getting started. There's more to do, but we on track. Keep this up. We need these units ready and rented.
Eric met their gaze, understanding the weight behind the words.
You'll have it.
3 weeks later, 2 of the 5 units on 5th Street stood transformed. Marcus and Deshaun stepped into the property late in the afternoon. Sunlight spilled through spotless windows, illuminating the 2 completed units. The transformation was unbelievable. What had been run-down apartments just weeks ago now looked modern and move-in ready. Deshaun walked slowly through the living room, running his hand along the smooth wall.
See this shit? Place look like brand new.
Marcus grinned, pride clear in his voice.
I told you, didn't I? We might want to keep him around, for upkeep, repairs, maybe even more properties down the line. Someone who works this fast and this clean. That's hard to find. Exactly what I've been saying. Let's get these rented out and keep the momentum going.
They exchanged a look, impressed and confident that with Eric on the team, their operation could run smoother than ever. Eric arrived at Marcus and Vanessa's house early, ready to continue the kitchen renovation. Marcus entered the kitchen, coffee in hand, and watched Eric work for a moment.
You've been making real progress on 5th Street,
Marcus said, a note of approval in his voice.
Deshaun and I checked it out. Place looks better than it has in years.
Eric nodded, keeping his focus on the cabinet he was installing.
Just doing my job.
Marcus leaned against the counter, considering him.
I've been thinking. I want to offer you something more permanent, not just this kitchen or 5th Street. I need someone I can trust to handle all my properties, upkeep, repairs, whatever comes up. Full-time work, steady pay.
Eric paused, surprised by the offer.
You want me managing all your spots? Yeah,
Marcus said.
We're growing. I can't have things slipping through the cracks. You be handling maintenance, keeping the units in shape, making sure everything runs smooth. If something breaks, you fix it. If a tenant moves out, you get the place ready for the next one. You be my go-to guy for all of it.
Eric considered it, the weight of the opportunity settling in. More money, more responsibilities, and a deeper look into Marcus's world.
So what you think?
Eric nodded, masking his thoughts behind a calm expression.
I'm down.
Marcus stood in the softly lit bedroom, watching Vanessa gather her things with a quiet intensity. He stepped closer, his voice calm but firm.
Enjoy your trip. Say hi to your parents for me and call me as soon as you land, all right?
Vanessa smiled, a little excitement in her eyes. I will.
Vanessa, before you head out, make sure you lock the office and guest room doors. You know how important that is,
he said, locking eyes with her. She paused, nodding as she zipped her suitcase. I will, don't worry. Marcus stood at the front door, dressed for the day. He glanced back down the hallway where Vanessa was finishing up in the bedroom.
Remember what I said, Vanessa,
Marcus called, his tone gentle but firm.
Enjoy your trip. Call me when you land. And don't forget, lock the office and guest room doors before you leave.
Vanessa poked her head out. I will, Marcus. He gave her a small smile, nodded once, and stepped out into the world. The house fell into a hush, leaving Vanessa to her final preparations before her own departure. Eric arrived at Marcus and Vanessa's house. He rang the bell. Vanessa answered, suitcase already by the door. She looked a little flustered. Hey, Eric. Marcus already left for work, so it's just you here. I'm heading to the airport now. I'll be at my parents' house for a week.
Okay, I'll get started. I should have a lot done by the time you get back.
Vanessa grinned, her excitement showing through her hurry. Hopefully I come home to a brand new kitchen. You can lock up behind yourself when you're done each day. I'll see you next week. She grabbed her suitcase and hurried out, the door closing behind her. In her rush, she completely forgot Marcus's instructions to lock the office and guest room doors before leaving. As the house settled into silence, Eric set down his tools, unaware that the unlocked doors would soon offer him access to secrets Marcus never intended anyone to find. Eric worked steadily in the kitchen. Vanessa's rushed departure gnawed at him. The office and guest room doors stood unlocked and wide open, a silent invitation he couldn't ignore. Setting down his tools, Eric crept down the hallway toward the guest room. He spotted a locked briefcase tucked under the bed. A sticky note with a hastily scrawled combination caught his eye. Inside, passports, burner phones, stacks of cash, and more financial records confirmed the scale of Marcus's operation. The office was a treasure of secrets. He found a false panel in the bottom drawer. Behind it, a velvet-lined box held a gold-plated pistol and a stack of memory cards. He pocketed one, then rifled through a folder. A thick manila envelope with no label. He slid it out, opened it, and froze.
Bingo.
Inside were printouts of wire transfers and handwritten account numbers. Switzerland, Cayman Islands, Dubai. Numbers with 8 figures, 12 million, 6 million, 25 million. His heart skipped. Each page was bigger and bigger, detailed lists of accounts linked to fake companies, property deals that never happened, deposits made in bulk, clearly drug money washed and rerouted. Eric pulled out his phone, snapping pictures. He flipped the next sheet. Marcus's signature was at the bottom. This wasn't real estate. This was a damn empire with millions in dirty money. Suddenly, headlights swept across the window. Eric's heart seized. He carefully placed the papers back how they were, locking the office door, darting back to the kitchen as Marcus's car rolled up the drive. Eric tried to look busy as Marcus stepped inside, eyes scanning the room.
How's it going, man? Good,
Eric said, voice steady even after what he just discovered.
Marcus moved with purpose down the hallway toward the office and guest room doors. Pausing at the first, he reached out and tested the handle. It was locked tight. Satisfied, he moved to the next door and did the same, confirming it was securely locked as well.
Hey, you don't have to stay too late tonight. Get what you can done, then lock up when you leave. I want to keep things running smooth, but no need to burn yourself out. I'm heading back to work. I'll see you tomorrow.
Eric sat alone in his bedroom. He waited until the house was dead quiet before locking his bedroom door and plugging the memory card into his laptop. The folder inside was simply named Proof. His pulse thudded in his ears as he opened it. There were dozens of files, short video clips, scanned documents, and audio recordings. He clicked to the first video.
The screen flickered to life, revealing a dark basement. Marcus stood in the center, flanked by two masked men. On the floor, a man knelt, hands zip-tied behind his back, face swollen and bloody. Marcus's voice was low and menacing.
You know the rules. You pay or you lay.
He nodded to one of the masked men who yanked the kneeling man's head back and forced him to look at the camera.
This is what happens to thieves.
Marcus said, staring straight into the lens.
Let this be a warning.
Without hesitation, Marcus drew a pistol and fired. The man slumped forward, lifeless. The camera zoomed in on the body, then panned to a pile of cash and a duffel bag stuffed with what looked like bricks of drugs. Eric recoiled, bile rising in his throat. He clicked to the next file, hands shaking. This one was a series of scanned passports and IDs, dozens of them, all with different names, but several with Marcus's face. There were also photos of people Eric recognized from the neighborhood, each with a dollar amount and a single word, paid or owed. The final file was an audio recording. Marcus's voice, cold and businesslike.
Shipment lands Friday. Tighten up any loose ends.
Eric yanked out the memory card, heart racing. He just uncovered evidence of executions, drug trafficking, and a network of payoffs and hits. Sunlight spilled across the cramped kitchen as Eric moved quietly, scrambling eggs and frying bacon. His mom, wrapped in her faded robe, sipped coffee at the table, eyes never leaving him. She watched the tension in his shoulders, the way he stared into the pan like he was somewhere else. "You sure you all right, Eric?" she asked, her voice gentle but probing.
Yeah, Ma, just thinking about work, that's all. Trying to get ahead, you know?
She frowned, unconvinced. "You look like you ain't slept. This job got you like this?" He set her plate down in front of her, finally meeting his eyes.
It's not the job. I gotta make this money, Ma. I want you out of this dump. You deserve better than this place.
She reached over, squeezing his hand. "We'll be all right, baby. Don't lose yourself chasing dollars." Before Eric could answer, his phone rang. He glanced at the screen. Marcus. He picked up, masking his nerves.
Yo, Eric, you want to go to the basketball game tomorrow night? Got some good seats. Figured we could catch up. Yeah, sounds good. I'll be ready. All right, see you then.
Eric slipped his phone into his pocket, forcing a smile for his mom. Eric and Marcus settled into their seats, the arena buzzing with excitement around them. Marcus nudged Eric with a grin.
Yo, they've been on fire all season. Hell yeah, I caught a few games. They've been on point.
As the players ran across the court, Eric found himself caught in a strange mix of awe and reflection. He glanced sideways at Marcus, who was relaxed, cheering with the crowd, fully in the zone. For a moment, Eric wondered silently, so this is what it feels like to be a part of Marcus's world. The weight of his secrets lifted just a little, replaced by the hope he'd find his place, even if it was in the shadow of Marcus.
A week later, Vanessa stood in the doorway, taking in the transformed kitchen. Sunlight danced off the new countertops, and the air was so fresh and clean. She let out a low whistle. "Eric, you really outdid yourself. I barely recognize this place." Eric smiles.
Glad you think so. I tried to keep it bright like you mentioned.
Vanessa ran her fingers along the edge of the island, pausing at a delicate row of blue tiles. "These are beautiful. Did you pick them?" Eric nodded.
Yeah, thought they'd go well with your style.
She looked up, her eyes lingering on him for a moment longer than necessary. "You have good taste," she said, her voice soft. Just then, Marcus walked in, scrolling through his phone. He glanced around, nodded, and mumbled,
"Looks good,"
before disappearing into his office. Vanessa watched him go, a flicker of disappointment crossing her face. She turned back to Eric, tucking a strand of her hair behind her ear. Eric smiled, taking in her reaction. He noticed right away that her hair was a striking new shade, a deep, glossy burgundy that caught the light.
I like your new hair color, Vanessa. It really fits you.
he said, genuine and warm. Vanessa's cheeks flushed with pleasure. Thank you, Eric. You're the first one to notice. She glanced over her shoulder, where Marcus was distracted in the distance by his phone, oblivious to the change. Vanessa stood in the living room, watching Eric's retreating figure disappear down the driveway. She turned to Marcus, who was already absorbed in his phone. Marcus, she said softly, trying to catch his attention. He glanced up briefly, eyes tired but sharp.
Yeah?
I noticed you didn't ask me how my trip went. Did you even notice anything different about me? Marcus smirked, setting his phone down.
I noticed those big-ass Chanel bags you pranced in here with, and that $150,000 car you drive every day.
Vanessa's jaw tightened, but she held her ground. It's not about the things, Marcus. It's about me. You don't even see me anymore. He leaned back, voice cold and clipped.
Don't start this shit today, Vanessa.
She looked away, the silence heavy between them. His words weren't just dismissive. They were a reminder of the control he wielded, using money and status as weapons to keep her in place. Marcus, do you even see me anymore? I'm not just some trophy you can sit on the shelf and show off when it suits you. I'm your wife, your partner. I want to be seen, not just displayed. Marcus didn't look up.
You got a good life, Vanessa. What more do you want?
She stepped closer, tears stinging her eyes. I want a life that's mine. Marcus, I want to make my own name, have something to be proud of. I want a family, children. I want us to build something real together, not just pose for pictures and pretend. He finally looked at her, his expression cold, jaw set.
You want kids.
He let out a bitter laugh.
That's not happening. I had a vasectomy years ago. Kids won't do shit but get in the way.
Vanessa's face went pale, her whole body trembling. You what? He shrugged, voice hard.
I did what I had to do. You need to fall in line, Vanessa, or I can replace you with someone who will.
The words hit her like a slap. Vanessa's knees buckled and she sank onto the couch, sobs racking her body as the truth crashed down. The life she dreamed of would never be. Marcus grabbed his keys and stormed out, slamming the door behind him, leaving Vanessa alone, shattered and sick to her stomach. Eric arrived at Marcus and Vanessa's house the next morning, camera in hand, ready to take photos of the finished kitchen for his portfolio. The house felt unusually quiet. When Vanessa opened the door, her eyes were puffy, her expression distant. He set up his camera, but couldn't ignore the tension in the air.
You good?
Do I look good? Marcus and we had a huge fight last night. He didn't come home.
What happened?
I told him I want more, a real life, kids, and something I can call my own. But he just laughed, said I should be grateful for the bags and the cars. He told me he had a vasectomy years ago. I never knew. He just decided I'd never get to have a family. I feel like my whole life's been a lie.
You deserve better than that, Vanessa.
I just wanted a real marriage, a family, something I could call my own. Eric stepped closer, his presence calm and reassuring. He reached out, offering a comforting hug. Vanessa melted into his arms, her breath shaky against his chest. I'm just tired of feeling invisible, she said. Their eyes met, and suddenly the space between them felt smaller. She leaned in, and Eric met her halfway. They kissed slow at first, then deeper, hands exploring, the tension that had been building finally breaking through. Vanessa's fingers slipped to Eric's belt, his hands tracing her hips, both of them caught up in the moment. Then, the sound of Marcus's car pulled up in the driveway. Vanessa froze, breathless. That's Marcus. She quickly fixed her shirt and hurried out of the kitchen, disappearing down the hall. Eric took a shaky breath, grabbed his camera, and tried to focus on his work. Seconds later, the front door opened. Marcus stepped inside, barely glancing his way.
Hey, Eric.
he called, not waiting for a response before heading straight for the basement, never bothering to look for Vanessa. Eric sat at the kitchen table, shuffling a deck of cards as his mom dealt a hand of spades. Don't think I'm going easy on you just 'cause you're my son.
You never do, Ma.
His phone buzzed on the table, the screen lighting up with an unknown number. His mom glanced at the phone. You need to get that? Eric hesitated, then grabbed the phone and stood, stepping into the hallway.
Hello?
Eric, it's Vanessa. I'm so sorry about earlier. I shouldn't have called you, but I can't stop thinking about you. I needed to hear your voice.
Vanessa, you can't call me like this. If Marcus finds out, I could lose everything. My job, my reputation, hell, maybe even my life.
You're right. I'm sorry. Everything all right? Eric forced a smile.
Yeah, Ma. Just work stuff.
Over the next few months, the Cold War inside Marcus and Vanessa's marriage only grew. Marcus spent most nights away, claiming late hours and urgent work calls, but Vanessa knew better than to ask where he really was. The house felt bigger and emptier than ever, each room echoing with the silence between them. Eric did occasional on-call work for Marcus, patching up leaks or fixing cabinets when needed, but nothing too serious. Their conversations were short and strictly business. Eric made sure to keep things professional, never giving Marcus a reason to look at him twice. The day before the open house, Marcus called Eric with urgency in his voice.
I need you at 5th Street tonight. Everything gotta look perfect for tomorrow. We can't afford any slip-ups.
Eric arrived just before dusk. He moved through the units, tightening fixtures, wiping down counters, making sure every detail was flawless. By the time he finished, the place gleamed. Satisfied, he locked up and slipped away into the night, leaving behind more than just his signature craftsmanship. The next morning, Marcus and Deshawn hosted the open house. Prospective tenants streamed through, impressed. By afternoon, Marcus and Deshawn were all smiles, congratulating each other on what looked like a major win.
This is the turnaround we needed,
Deshawn said. The night after the open house, Marcus wanted to celebrate big. He hit up Vanessa, told her to get dressed, and called Eric and Deshawn to meet them at the Junction, a local lounge. When they arrived, it was lit. The whole place was a vibe. The waitress seated them in a booth. What y'all drinking tonight?
Patron for the table, unlimited shots. I don't care about the price. We celebrating tonight.
Vanessa leaned into Marcus, her voice low. You always gotta show out, huh?
You know what it is. Gotta let everybody know who winning.
Eric smirked.
Cool. He liked the spotlight. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I am the spotlight.
The waitress dropped off the shots. Marcus raised his glass.
To new money.
They clinked glasses. Eric sipped his slow, eyes scanning the room. Junction was alive, bass thumping off the walls. Marcus, Deshawn, Vanessa, and Eric had been posted up in their booth all night celebrating. The table was crowded with empty shot glasses and half-eaten plates. Deshawn signaled for another round.
We celebrating tonight, man. This what winning looks like.
Everyone clinked glasses, the liquor burning smooth. As the night died down, the energy started to fade.
I'm finna hit the back for a smoke. Y'all coming? Nah, I'm good.
Vanessa slid out of the booth, grabbing her purse. I need a restroom break. With Deshawn and Vanessa gone, the music seemed to fade into the background. Eric leaned forward.
You know, Marcus, I gotta ask. You ever look around at all this, your properties, your money, success, and wonder if you do anything different? Like, if you could go back and change something from your past, would you? Man, why would I? Look at me. I'm living good. Everything I got, I earned, and this shit feel good. The past is the past. The only thing that matters is what's next.
Eric's gaze sharpened.
So, you never think about people you left behind?
Marcus's eyes went cold, his smile turning hard.
People come and go, man. That's life. You can't get caught up in feelings or regrets. You get soft, you lose. I did what I had to do to get here. Anybody that couldn't keep up, that's on them.
The music seemed to pick up again as Deshawn and Vanessa made their way back to the table. Marcus was dead asleep, sprawled across his bed, the room still spinning a little from the night before. His phone started buzzing on the nightstand, the screen lighting up the dark room. He groaned, squinting at the clock. 4:30 a.m. He tried to ignore it, but the call kept coming. Finally, he snatched the phone up, his voice rough.
Hello? Who is this?
A panicked voice crackled through the speaker.
Marcus, bro, you up? You gotta get down here, man. The 5th Street property's on fire. It's bad, real bad. The whole block's lit up. Fire trucks everywhere.
He shot up, heart pounding.
What? You serious? How the fuck?
I'm dead serious. You better get here quick. It's looking ugly, man.
Marcus was already throwing on clothes, his mind racing. He could hear sirens in the distance, or maybe that was just the blood rushing in his ears. He grabbed his keys and bolted out the door, not even bothering to call Deshaun yet. As he sped through the empty streets, the city lights blurred past. When he turned on the 5th, the sky was glowing orange, smoke pouring up into the dawn. Fire trucks lined the block, hoses snaking across the pavement, red lights flashing everywhere. He jumped out, stumbling toward the chaos. Flames were shooting from the top floor, windows shattered, the building he just celebrated now being swallowed by fire. He stood frozen on the curb, breathless, as the reality hit him. Everything he'd built was burning, and there was nothing he could do but watch. A firefighter walked over.
You the owner?
Marcus nodded, barely able to speak.
We got it contained, but it's a total loss. You got insurance on this place? Yeah, I do. You might want to call them soon.
Marcus paced the living room, phone ringing nonstop, sweat beading at his temples. The fire had left him frantic, desperate to do something, anything, to keep his hustle alive. Vanessa watched from the kitchen, her heart heavy. Marcus had been tight all week, and she knew he needed a distraction, something to make him laugh, even for just one night. She'd scored 2 front-row tickets to see Cat Williams, the hottest comic in town, and she couldn't wait to surprise him. Marcus, I've been thinking maybe you need a break, so I got us front-row seats to see Cat Williams tonight. I thought we could use a good laugh.
A comedy show? Seriously?
Yeah, I thought it'd be fun. Just something to take your mind off everything.
Fun? Vanessa, you don't get it. Business don't stop. Deshaun already in Atlanta scoping out a new spot for us. I can't sit here and wait for trouble to come knocking. I gotta get down here and make shit happen.
She stepped closer, voice soft but firm. I get it, but rushing into another deal might not be the answer. You're not thinking straight right now.
You think I got time to think? I got money to move, Vanessa. If I lose everything today, you'll be with the next nigga tomorrow. That's just how the game goes.
She flinched, tears welling up. So that's it, huh? You think I'm with you for your money? I really do love you.
Yeah, everybody love you when you winning. I ain't got time for all the sentimental shit. I need a plan B, and I need it now.
He grabbed his duffel bag, heading for the door.
I'll call you when my plane land.
Vanessa sat on the couch, the 2 tickets to Cat Williams' comedy show resting on the coffee table. She picked up her phone and scrolled to Eric's number, her thumb hovering for a second before she pressed call. Hey, Eric. So, I got these tickets to see Cat Williams tonight, front row. I was supposed to go with Marcus, but he just left for Atlanta on short notice. You want to come with me?
Cat Williams? Front row? You know I can't turn that down. What time should I pick you up?
Show's at 8. I'll be ready. Vanessa and Eric found their seats in the crowded comedy show. The lights dim as Cat Williams took the stage, immediately setting the room on fire with his act. Vanessa felt herself relax for the first time in days, and Eric seemed to sense it, leaning in whenever she laughed. Between sets, their eyes kept wandering, catching each other's gaze. Vanessa couldn't remember the last time she'd laughed so hard. After the comedy show, Eric drove Vanessa home.
That was dope.
It was. Thank you for coming with me.
Anytime.
You want to come up for a second? I've got a bottle of wine I've been needing to open.
I'd love to.
Inside, Vanessa poured 2 glasses of wine and they settled on the couch, close enough to feel each other's body heat. The conversation flowed freely.
Eric reached out, brushing a strand of hair from Vanessa's face.
I've had a thing for you for a while.
I figured that, she whispered. He leaned in, closing the distance, and their lips met in a kiss. Vanessa let herself get lost in the moment, her hands tracing the lines of Eric's shoulders as he pulled her closer. The world outside faded away, replaced by the heat between them. One kiss led to another, and soon they were moving toward the bedroom. Clothes dropped one piece at a time until nothing was between them but heat and hunger. Vanessa gasped as Eric's hands claimed her. He growled her name as she pulled him onto her. The night stretched on with moans and shared pleasure until they lay tangled in the sheets. Marcus and Deshawn stepped out of their black SUV onto the street in Atlanta City's west side. They were here to look into some property investments. Ever since the 5th Street property went up in flames, they needed a new spot, something quick and under the radar to keep washing the money without raising suspicion. Inside a sleek office building, Ray, a well-dressed real estate broker, greeted them with a firm handshake.
Marcus, Deshawn, good to see you. I've got a solid apartment property lined up for you. Let's go over the details.
They sat at a conference table. Ray spread out photos and floor plans for apartment buildings, a 16-unit walk-up in a quiet neighborhood near Piedmont Park.
This is a solid investment. It's in a high-demand area, strong rental history, easy to manage, and tenants are already in place.
Deshawn whistled as he looked at the numbers.
Damn, Ray, these numbers crazy.
Market's hot right now. Good properties don't come cheap, but they're worth it.
Marcus studied the paperwork, his face calm.
We can make it happen. You sure? That's a lot of money. The insurance claim would come through once the fire investigation wraps up. That'll cover most of it. We good.
Deshawn leaned in.
What about the paperwork? We need everything clean, no surprises.
Everything's in order. Inspections are done, no liens, no code violations. You buy, you own, you collect rent. Simple as that.
All right, we got a deal. Let's do it.
Standard procedure is a 10% deposit to take it off the market. That'll give you 30 days to close. Think you can swing that?
Yeah, I can get the deposit together, and the rest of it once the insurance clears.
Deshawn raised an eyebrow.
And what if there's a delay? You know how these insurance companies are.
Marcus shrugged, a confident smile on his face.
I got a backup plan. Worst case, I'll pull from my emergency accounts, but I'm not worried. The adjuster said it's just paperwork at this point.
All right, I'll draw up the agreement. Once you wire the deposit, the property's yours to close. I'll keep the sellers in the loop.
Vanessa shifted on the couch, curiosity flickering in her eyes. Eric, I've always wanted to ask you, where do you come from? Do you have family here?
It's just me and my mom now. She's not well. I take care of her.
Vanessa's voice softened. That's a lot for one person. Where's your dad? A shadow crossed Eric's face, but he forced a small smile.
He left before I was born, never looked back. My mom did everything. She played his role and hers.
Vanessa reached over, squeezing his hand. I'm sorry, that must have been hard.
It was, but it made me stronger. I learned early on that only the weak-minded and cold-hearted disappear on the kid they help create.
She nodded, sensing the pain behind his words. You deserve better than that. Eric's jaw tightened, but he kept his tone gentle.
We all do.
Without another word, Vanessa leaned in, her lips brushing against his collarbone. Slowly, Eric pulled her closer, his lips meeting hers. They moved to the bedroom without breaking contact, shedding clothes along the way. There was no rush, just a clear mutual desire. Eric's hands and lips found every familiar curve, and Vanessa responded with soft moans as they filled the room with sounds of pleasure. Eric pushed open the door, calling out,
Honey, I'm home.
the old joke he and his mom always shared. Well, look who finally decided to come on back. 2 days gone, I'm starting to think you may have found yourself a girlfriend.
Nah, girlfriend, just business. But don't worry about me, Mama. You just get ready because I got a feeling we will be moving out of this dump sooner than you think.
You serious?
Yep, just hang in there a little longer, Ma. Things are getting ready to change for us.
2 weeks had slid by like nothing. The days moved slow and quiet with not a single update from the insurance company. Marcus sat staring at his silent phone, and out of frustration, he dialed the claims number.
This is Dave, Insurance Claims. How can I help you?
Yeah, this is Marcus Carter. I'm calling about my claim regarding my building that caught fire a few weeks ago. I haven't heard any update. What's the holdup?
Oh, yeah, Mr. Carter. Someone should have informed you that your claim's under review. The fire marshal's report flagged some irregularities. It looks suspicious, so we've brought in another investigator for a second look. That's why there's a delay.
Suspicious how? What are you saying?
I'm not at liberty to discuss details, sir, but I can have a manager call you with more information.
Marcus clenched his jaw. He hung up and immediately called Deshaun.
Man, the insurance company's dragging their feet. They saying the fire looks suspicious, bringing in more people to stall the payout. I'm not waiting around for them to play games. I'm going to the bank in the morning. I'm going to have to pull from the emergency fund to pay the realtor for that Atlanta property. If I don't, we lose the deposit and the deal.
Deshaun sounded uneasy.
You sure that's a good idea? That's a lot of cash to move without the insurance money coming in. Worst case scenario, the insurance money takes a few more weeks to come in. We'll replace it then. Besides, it's not like we have a choice.
The next day, Marcus strolled into the bank, determination etched on his face. He approached the teller and slid his ID across the counter.
Hey, I need to make a withdrawal from my business account.
The teller typed quickly and then frowned. I'm sorry, Mr. Carter, but it looks like you've already reached your quarterly withdrawal limit.
That's not possible. I haven't made any withdrawals this quarter.
She checked again, her eyes widening slightly. Sir, there have been several substantial transactions, $5 million in total processed from your account over the past few months.
That can't be right. I haven't authorized any of those withdrawals. Who signed off on them?
These look to be wire transactions. I'll get a manager to print the transaction records for you. Hold tight. Marcus stepped aside, heart pounding as he tried to process what he just heard. $5 million gone. His mind raced through the possibilities. This had to be an internal error or something. When the manager arrived with a stack of paperwork, Marcus snatched it and scanned the transactions, each withdrawal a punch to the gut. He could feel his anger rising, suspicion coiling tight in his chest. Someone was playing him, and they were doing it from the inside. He sent a text to Deshaun to meet him at his house before storming out of the bank and speeding home. By the time Marcus arrived, Deshaun was already pulling up. Marcus swung the door open, barely waiting for Deshaun to step inside before launching into it.
I need both of you in here, right now.
Deshaun glanced at Vanessa, confused, but followed Marcus into the living room. Marcus didn't waste time.
Somebody's been in the emergency account. $5 million, gone, withdrawn in huge chunks. I need to know if either of you touched that money.
Marcus, I haven't even seen the account details. You know that. Listen, if this is some kind of joke, I don't feel good, and I'm not in the mood right now.
What part of $5 million missing sounds like a joke to you?
Then they realized this was no joke. Deshaun shook his head, hands up.
Man, I wouldn't do that without talking to you first. You know me.
Marcus studied them both, jaw clenched, searching for any hint of a lie. All he saw was confusion and concern.
Before he could press further, his phone rang.
Hello?
Hey, Mr. Carter, this is Dave from the insurance office. I wanted to update you on your claim. You got a minute?
Yeah? Is everything finally finalized?
I am afraid not. The fire marshal's report is very clear. This wasn't an accident. Whoever set that fire poured accelerant throughout the entire building. Gasoline in every hallway and unit. And when the investigators checked the scene, all the doors and windows were still locked from the outside.
Locked? Man, what the fuck you saying?
Mr. Carter, whoever did this had keys. They set the fire and locked up behind themselves as they left. There's no sign of forced entry. It was someone with access.
A cold, sick feeling crept up Marcus's spine.
So what does that mean for my claim?
With this evidence, we have to treat the fire as arson. Your claim has been denied. There will be no payout.
For a moment, Marcus couldn't breathe. The world seemed to tilt under his feet.
You denying my claim after everything I lost?
I'm sorry, Mr. Carter. This decision is final.
Vanessa's legs buckled as the truth settled in. She doubled over, barely making it to the corner before she vomited on the floor. Marcus didn't move. His face was stone. His voice cut through the air like a blade.
Clean that shit up.
Vanessa tried to catch her breath, wiping her mouth, tears welling up in her eyes.
And when you done, I need you to count the money in both safes. I need to know exactly what we got left. We still gotta close on that building or we lose that deposit, and I'm not about to take another loss behind this shit.
Vanessa nodded weakly as Marcus and Deshawn stormed off the house. The second Marcus and Deshawn pulled off, Vanessa snatched her phone off the counter. She scrolled through, dialing Eric's number. The phone rang once, then cut off. She stared at the screen, confused. She tried again. This time, it didn't even ring.
The number you have dialed cannot be reached. Please try again later.
Vanessa sat there frozen. She could feel her stomach churning again, her head light, body weak. She gripped the armrest, trying to steady herself, but it was useless. Her world was spinning. How did this happen? How did she let it happen? And now Marcus was out there furious and hutting. A wave of nausea hit her like a punch. She barely made it upstairs to the bedroom. The second her knees touched the mattress, she collapsed into the covers, curling herself up tight. Silent tears slid down her face as she stared at nothing, every thought making her sicker than the last. The panic, the guilt, the fear, all of it set heavy on her. Deshawn stared out the window, jaw tight.
I told you from the start, man. You gotta watch who you let in. I had a bad feeling about Eric. Young niggas like that ain't loyal to nobody. You put money in his pockets, and this the thanks you get. And he was jealous, D. I saw it in his eyes. Whole time he was plotting. We find him, get my money, and we smoke him. Period.
Marcus and Deshawn spent the entire day scouring every corner of Eric's old stomping grounds, relentless in their pursuit. The sun climbed high and then dipped low, but they didn't stop, driving block after block, stopping at every store, barbershop, and stoop where Eric might have left a trace. They questioned everyone. Most shook their heads or claimed ignorance, but Marcus could see the flickers of recognition in a few faces. People were tight-lipped, maybe even scared. Deshawn grew more agitated as the hours dragged on.
Let's call it one. We're not gonna find him tonight. We'll hit it again tomorrow.
Marcus finally eased off the wheel, the tension in his shoulders sagging.
Yeah, let's call it. I need a shower and a drink.
They pulled up to Marcus's place.
Get some rest, bro. We gonna catch that nigga. He gotta come up for air eventually.
It was nearly 12 p.m. when Vanessa finally pulled herself out of bed. She'd spent most of the morning lying awake, her stomach unsettled and her mind racing with everything that had happened. Still, she forced herself up, determined to distract her mind and check the safes like Marcus had asked. She opened the first safe, counting out $10,000 in neat stacks and a few pieces of jewelry. She moved to the next safe. Inside, she found $40,000 stacked neatly and a yellow envelope with Marcus's name scrawled across the front in unfamiliar handwriting. Maybe this was it. Maybe there were checks inside, something that could help them breathe for a minute. She tore open the envelope, her hands trembling with anticipation. But instead of checks, a photograph slid out. An old picture of Marcus, younger and smiling, his arm around a pregnant girl. He was holding her belly, both of them looking happy and expectant. Vanessa stared, her hope replaced by confusion and a growing sense of dread. Who was this woman? Why was this hidden? Clutching the photo and envelope, she made her way to the front room. Marcus was stretched out on the couch, eyes open, staring at the ceiling as if he hadn't slept at all. She stood in the doorway, voice trembling. "Marcus, who is this?" She held out the photo. Marcus sat up abruptly, snatching the picture from her hand. His face went from confusion to shock to anger in a heartbeat.
Where'd you get this?
It was in the safe, Marcus, the second one with the cash. I've never seen this before. Who is she?
I never put this picture in there. Vanessa, where the fuck did you get this?
She shot back, her patience gone. I told you it was in the safe. Why are you acting like I did something wrong? What's going on, Marcus? He turned the envelope over in his hands, noticing for the first time a folded letter tucked inside. His hands shook as he pulled it out, a sense of dread settling over him.
Dear Marcus, you probably already figured out by now, or at least you're starting to put it together. Funny how life works, huh? You've been right in front of me for months and you never even recognized me. But I recognize you. I've been watching you for years, wondering if the man who left my mother pregnant at 15 would ever come looking for us. You didn't. Instead, you went on with your life, built your little empire, got your buildings, your cars, your money, your wife, all while my mother struggled to raise me on her own like we never existed. You never came looking, never sent a dollar, never cared if we made it. She carried that weight by herself. But don't get it twisted. She did a damn good job. She made me the man I am today, a better man than you will ever be. Every sacrifice she made, every bill she couldn't pay, every night she cried, wondering how she was gonna feed me, she handled all of it, without you. While you was out here playing kingpin, hiding dirty money behind your so-called businesses, my mother was working 2 jobs, praying to keep the lights on, and barely affording her medications these last few years. You left her to carry all the weight, and you never once looked back. So no, I don't feel bad about taking what's owed. That $5 million, that's just a fraction of what you owe us for the years you disappeared. And now I can finally make sure my mother is taken care of the way she always deserved. I'll make sure she never wants for nothing again. Oh, and before you go thinking about coming after me, let me give you something to think real hard about. I got that hard drive card you kept locked up. Yeah, the one with all your real business on it. The drops, the accounts, the names, the murder, everything. What's on that card could put you and Deshaun away for life. And just so we're clear, I made copies, multiples. You make one wrong move and all of it sees daylight. So play smart, Pops. This ain't personal, all business. Eric.
Marcus closed his eyes, his head dropping into his hands. Everything inside him was spinning. Vanessa stood a few inches away, her hand covering her mouth. Her legs buckled as she ran toward the bathroom. She couldn't even stomach what she just heard. From upstairs, he could hear Vanessa crying in the bathroom. She had barely made it out before collapsing into the bed. The sounds of her sobs made his stomach turn even more. Finally, Marcus reached for his phone.
Yo, what's up?
Yo, don't touch him. Let him live.
Let him live? Nigga, you tripping.
He's my son.
The stress hadn't let up since everything with Eric exploded. Hours turned into days, and days turned into weeks, but neither Marcus nor Vanessa had found much peace. Vanessa could barely keep anything down most days. Her head stayed spinning, her body weak. The crying, the panic, the weight of what they'd been through, it was eating her alive. Marcus tried to keep it together for both of them, but even he couldn't hide the strain anymore. The bags under his eyes, the short temper, the heavy silences between them, it all told the story. One morning, as Vanessa sat at the kitchen table, staring at a cup of tea she couldn't stomach, Marcus finally spoke.
Vanessa, you need to see a doctor. This shit been going on too long. You barely eating, you barely have energy, you stress is taking over your body.
Vanessa sighed, rubbing her temples. She didn't have the strength to argue. All right, call and make the appointment. The room at the clinic was quiet. Vanessa sat nervously on the exam table, fingers laced tightly together in her lap. Marcus stood by the window watching every movement. The door finally opened and the doctor walked in, glancing down at the file in her hands.
Well, we've run all the tests, gone over your symptoms, and I have an answer for you. You're pregnant, Vanessa. Congratulations.
The word smacked against the wall like a gunshot. Pregnant?
Come again?
You're about 9 weeks along.
The doctor repeated, glancing between the both of them.
You sure about that?
Yes, very sure.
Nah, fuck nah. That don't make sense.
Why not?
Marcus cut his eyes to Vanessa, locking in on her like a laser.
Because I had a vasectomy 6 years ago.